Hello, everybody, and welcome to our episode 7 of Tech Bites. My name is Andrew, and I'm so pumped to be here with you today to host Loving Local with Laragon today. So before we get too far in, I just want to make sure that all of our audio is working. So if I can get a note in the chat, and I know there's going to be a little bit of lag, just want to make sure that you can hear what I'm saying and ignore this wonderful little logo that shows up because I'm using a really cool software to get rid of my background without needing a green screen today. I just while I wait for that answer, I'll turn some music back on just so you can hear and enjoy some awesome popped anthology while we're waiting. All right, so sounds like everything's good to go, and I'm excited again to be with you today. Right now, let me just see how many streamers that we have on the stream. So welcome to Blue Knight. Welcome to our moderator, Flight Wizard. We're going to be getting started in just a minute, and I know we're going to have lots of viewers that are coming in. So if you're not sure where you are, if you've just happened upon our awesome stream today, you are here at Tech Bites, bite-sized tech talks for teens, presented by HighTechU, and today is episode 7 of our series, where we are exploring some really cool technology tools in order to help you learn and grow and become a better developer and just sort of have some fun with technology at the same time. And today we're going to be exploring a tool that's close to my heart because I really love it. And that tool is called Laragon, and we're going to explore that in just a second. So as we're going through, if you have any questions, if you're viewing and you have any questions, you're welcome to sign up for an account. You can jump in the chat there. You're welcome to just follow along as well. Or you're welcome to just send questions. So please let us know what's going on. I'll take a couple of breaks, but our goal is to deliver these sessions in a really short way. So we'll probably only go until around 1:30 and maybe a little bit longer if people have questions as we go through. So with that being said, we are going to get started. Awesome. So thanks for that tip about music. I did not know that. So thank you to Flight Wizard, one of our moderators, for that tip around music. I didn't know that. Awesome. So here you see the awesome, the amazing, the Google. And the reason that we have the Google up is because I've got a bunch of tabs that are already saved with the resources, but I want to kind of walk through the whole process of finding a lot of this stuff today. Again, if you're just coming in, ignore this awesome chroma cam thing that's floating around my head. It is there because it is free, so I'll take it without having to spend all the money on a green screen. So Nightbot just shared the resources that we're going to need today, and the first one that we're going to go look up is Laragon. So you'll notice that I'm in private mode here, so obviously this is a very different search that you're going to get when you're doing these results, but we're going to search for Laragon first off. So it's funny because when I first discovered Laragon, I actually don't remember how I found it, but I did, and what I loved is, so PHP is a programming language that has sort of had an elephant associated with it. That was the logo for a really long time, and I loved that it was like an up-to-date PHP logo, and the reason that this elephant is connected with Laragon and PHP is because Laragon is actually a development tool that's really connected to the Laravel PHP framework. Not that that really matters to you though, because Laragon is way more than just PHP. What's amazing is it's actually a tool that allows for you to develop in a ton of really popular languages on your device really, really fast. And we're actually going to deploy a bunch of open source stuff today. But I even uninstalled this from my machine just so that we could walk through the whole process together. Now, if you're on this stream right now and you are like, what the heck is going on? I do not have a Windows device. I'm so sorry. Laragon is a Windows only tool, but there's still time for you to go out to your nearest electronics store and get a hold of a Windows device. / you can also run it in a virtual machine on most devices, but that said, there's some really cool tools that exist for Linux and Mac, so you probably don't need that. Anyway, so we're going to go in here and we're going to go to this awesome downloads link because I like talking, but I also like showing. And you'll see there's a whole bunch of versions here. There's like this Laragon Portable, Laragon Lite, and this Laragon Full. So I definitely encourage, even though it's 130 megabytes, to install this. And why? Because it comes installed with all of these things. So things you don't necessarily recognize, like Apache and NGINX and MySQL and PHP, like all of these things come installed, whereas down here with these other versions, they don't come installed. So it's definitely worthwhile checking out and getting into the download Laragon Full. And I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit just so that you can see what's going on a little bit easier. So yeah, you can definitely just check it out here. And so you've got this Laragon Full, Laragon Lite, and Laragon Portable. Definitely grab that Laragon Full. Awesome. So it's going to bring us over to Sourceforge. If you've never heard of Sourceforge, it's kind of a weird, semi-sketchy. I remember years ago, Sourceforge was definitely a place you wanted to avoid, but they've done a pretty good job, and they've like partnered with Bitdefender now to do a lot of scanning on there. They obviously still make their money off of ads, but it is a good place to find some cool software. A lot of places maybe are hosting on GitHub and like, or they have the source code on GitHub, and then the rest of it's over here. But yeah, just a really cool explore stuff, and we'll see it's just finishing up here in a second. Yeah, so like Flight Wizard said, if you're just coming into the stream, welcome. Please feel free to log in, jump into the chat. I'm here to answer questions for you about this awesome tool, which I'm hoping actually reached out to the original developer of the tool and said, hey, are you willing to come on and do a talk? And he said yes, but not right now because he's super busy. Anyways, so we got this downloaded. I'm going to open up this file. And we're going to get started. Okay, so let's see. Some stuff just disappeared for you, which is okay. But now we're back. Awesome. So I'm going to close this Sourceforge, and I can actually close this Laragon because now we're in the install mode. And I'm going to walk through this process with you. I don't know if you'll be able to see this as well, just obviously because I don't have the zoom set up. But basically, this is just our walkthrough. Actually, I wonder if I can get a zoom really quickly. Zoom. No, I don't want that zoom. Anyways, we won't worry about that too much. Just walk through this process. So you're going to go in here, click next. You can install it. So this is a really good place to install. It seems weird, but you do want to install it like right to your C. It'll make sense when you get through there. And then you got a bunch of these things. So like run Laragon when Windows starts. I like to say yes, but you don't have to. Virtual hosts just kind of means that you can actually, instead of going, if you've ever done local stuff before, you always have to type in like localhost or like 192.168 or something like that. This actually creates an address for your individual applications. And then the last thing here actually installs Terminal and Notepad++, which are included with Laragon, to your right-click menu, which is awesome because basically installing this gives you a terminal on your Windows device, which is spectacular. Okay, so we're going to walk through here, go to the install. It's super fast. Obviously, I'm running a pretty speedy computer, but we'll give that a second. And while we're doing that, I'm going to use another awesome tool that we're using today, which is called Featured Chat. And I'm just gonna, oh, I definitely did not copy that over from the first one. Okay, let's copy this guy. Let's copy that browser. And just ignore that we've gone over there, and I'm just going to copy that into there. Awesome. So now we've got some questions. So if you've got questions that come up that are really awesome, but definitely like Flight Wizard said, if you do have questions, please drop them in the chat. And that's a good thing to show right while we're waiting. And then if you need to know what the resources are, we've got those loaded up too. Oh, yeah! And please ignore that terrible, terrible sound effect that I added, but I feel as though it adds something to this whole presentation. All right, it's installing. We got our resources there. What else do we got going on up here? Don't worry about that stuff. All right. So it's almost installed. If you're following along, it might go a little bit slower, but you'll be able to reference back in the video. See if there's any new users in the chat. Nope, still just Mirror Blue Knight. So welcome, Mirror Blue Knight. Hopefully you're enjoying the awesome stream so far. All right, we're almost there. Never dead air on one of these calls. I think just because I'm here, I'll make myself a little bit bigger. Whoa, my gosh, I'm so big. All right, here we go. So, awesome. So now it says view README. Always view the README. I kind of would say like view the README before you run the software. It's a really good idea to do. Oh, awesome. This process cannot access the file because it's being used by another process. So that's not ideal, but generally read the README before you go in and actually do anything with the application. I'm going to get rid of this awesome message that was up here. Clear now showing. Awesome. And yeah, we're going to go into actually play around a little bit more with this application. So let me jump over here. It will have installed Laragon down here, right there, Laragon in that folder. And I'm just going to click this awesome elephant. And then what's going to happen is I'm actually going to have it load up down here in the bottom corner. So you can't see me. But it's going to load up down here in the bottom corner. Now there's got to be an accessibility magnify. There we go. There's a magnifier. That's what we're looking for. So that's intense. Whoa. So it'll load up this application down in here. So this is the Laragon thing that you're looking for. It's going to be right down here. Now I'm not sure if you guys can actually see that. So can you send it to me in the chat if you're actually able to, you were actually able to see that super zoomed in? Or did it just zoom in for me? Might have just zoomed in for me. But you should be able to see this thing down here. But let me know in the chat if you can see that. Awesome. You can see the zoom in. Beautiful. Okay, so now I can get out of here because this is kind of crazy. Okay, let's go back to 100%. And now I've got that living on my screen, but I'll put it over on the other side. Okay, so we are, do you need admin permissions to run Laragon? No, that's the awesome thing. You do not need admin permissions to run this. It'll do a lot of that for you. Honestly, it'll give you pop-ups a lot of the time. If there's anything that you do need to do, it'll actually let you know. So I'm gonna close this window down because we don't need it for right now. And I'm gonna jump back over here. So this is it. Like this is the whole kit and caboodle. This is all that Laragon is just this window right up here. And so what's really cool, and I'm actually going to put myself back in the other corner over here for now and make myself a little bit smaller because I'm not that important. But what is important is being able to check out what's going on with this application. So I'm going to zoom in again so that we can see. And I'm going to go, what view do I want to go in? Full screen, lens. I think I might go lens. That didn't work. That's weird. All right, we're gonna go back over to that. It's a good exploration for us. Full screen, docked. Do we want to do docked? Oh, that's kind of cool. We can get like the zoom right up here. That's pretty awesome. Nice. Things that you discover when you're playing around on a live stream. Okay, we're gonna go back to full screen just so that I can zoom in here and show you. So we've got this is the application. This is it. Like it's basically just this guy right here, this window, and what we're able to do with that is a lot. Let me minimize that. Okay, so we've got our application right here, and we've got a whole bunch of options that it gives us, and we're going to look at a couple of them really quickly. But if you look at this gear here, this is all of your information that you need for starting things. So a lot of this isn't super important for you unless you want to start it when Windows starts. This stuff is kind of important because it gives you where the ports are and like what they're called if you're ever worried about getting to that. And then we've got this stuff here. So this basically allows for you to fake emails and then to send emails if you want to test sending emails, really. So that's some interesting stuff for you. It also shows you where all your data is stored and all the rest of that stuff. But then we've got a bunch of other pieces in here as well. So we've got our root, which is basically like the root of your web server, because this is kind of creating a local web server on your device, the terminal, a database, the web, and then to actually start the services. So right now, because it's all off, if I go to database and click that, and I'm just gonna, so I'll get these sort of notifications, and I'll do that. Let me just zoom back out. So you'll notice that in this bottom corner, I now have this notification that that Laragon virtual hosts are on, and I can kind of go in and play around with a few of these things. So I can go in and play around with this Php Myadmin that's again on my local host up here. And then I can log in and play around with this. And Php Myadmin is just where you play around with MySQL databases. And you can see I've got a bunch of them here. So it's obviously gone back and like restored my stuff from my previous Laragon install, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna close this out and go back over here. I've got web. So this is obviously showing me that Laragon's turned on. So you can see that that's turned on now. Obviously, it also shows up down there. So with that stop, and basically if I stop this, and we'll give it a second, it's turning off all of these things. And now if I try to go to localhost, because it's off, you'll notice that it doesn't find anything. So that's really important. That's why you got to make sure that it's actually turned on. You can do it from here. You can also do it from down here and just start all. And down here actually gives you a whole bunch of other options as well. And one of them we're going to look at in just a minute. But I'm going to turn the actual thing on again. You'll see I get that virtual host notification, and now localhost is able to be accessed again. So that's awesome. Okay, now I said that you were going to learn how to install some open source web apps, and we're actually going to start with one of the easiest to install with this software, and that is WordPress. And obviously you've heard of WordPress. It's a really awesome open source blogging platform. A lot of websites are built on it. I'm going to show you how to install it in like 2 minutes, because we're going to try and finish this up in the next 10. So what we do for that, and now obviously you see a lot of the stuff here, this isn't going to be really helpful for us. I'm going to actually close this down. Now it doesn't close it, it just minimizes it like it says down there. And I'm going to close that down, and I'm going to actually zoom in again because this is really important stuff. So if you come down here, you're going to get the Laragon. You're going to be able to see that it's running. And so what you want to do there is you actually want to right click on that, and it's going to give you a whole bunch of options. And those options are really important for what we're looking at right now. Some of them are like installing versions of Node. You can see that this is already installed. You can see that we've got like these pluses by here, which means Apache and MongoDB and MySQL are all installed. We've got our PHP version, which is 7.2.19, which is installed. But what's really important for us is this quick app feature, because this actually allows for us to install a bunch of stuff, including WordPress. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to install WordPress, and it's not going to take very long at all. So I want you to take a look and click WordPress. Awesome. You are not seeing the zoom the same way that I am. Okay, and you'll see that it's giving you this like pop-up that says project name WordPress. So I'll just call it like testing or local WordPress. And click OK. And you'll notice that I'm getting a bunch of these notifications in the bottom corner. So some of it says things like databases installing, stuff like that. And you'll see that over here, I've got a whole bunch of pop-ups that are sort of saying what it's actually doing here. So this does take a couple of minutes, and we may get a couple of notifications more. I don't think we will, but we might get a couple of more. And we're going to see. Awesome. So it's looking like it's extracted everything. It's created the database, which is what we really cared about. And you can see that it's generating this pretty URL. I wish I could make this a little bit bigger, but it's generating this local WordPress.test, which is the name that we obviously designated this. And awesome. So now we've got like detected a new project. It's going to create that virtual host. That's that like .test thing that we were looking at. And now you'll notice at the bottom we're getting this notification that it needs our permission to do it. Just click yes. And now we know it's running that virtual host. And now it's actually generated this. It's generated this site. So in like the last couple of minutes, we literally just installed WordPress. So if I click there, I can add my site title, new WordPress, my username, Andrew, randomly generated password, which you'd obviously want to share, but I'm just going to forget about. I'm going to just do test at HighTechU.ca. I don't want search engines to index this. I'm going to click install WordPress. And it's good that I copied that because now I'll be able to log in here, Andrew, and log in. And now you can see that I've actually got like a fully functional WordPress that I installed in like 3 minutes. Now, what's awesome is if I go to local WordPress.test, this is actually the website that I just launched on the front end, and then this is the admin section where I can make a lot of those changes. So what's really cool about this is that we were able to do that through just that default menu. But you might be asking like, oh, but I don't want to install something that's that easy. I want to like go and find something cool, or I want to use something that I found on the internet. Now it's really cool because we can actually do that as well. So I'm going to close all this stuff, even though it's still there. And I'm going to go back down to my Laragon down here in the bottom corner. And it gives us a whole bunch of these things here. But what's really important for us is actually where that default folder is. So I'm going to load up I'm going to click on the WordPress, and it had that root option for us there. So we click root. This actually shows us a whole bunch of web applications that have been installed in here. So this is obviously a whole bunch of things that I've got installed, including that local WordPress. And so if I go in there, you can see that the whole WordPress piece is in there. Now, I actually want to grab a couple of repositories, 2 in particular that we're going to install in like the next 6 minutes, just so you can see how this works. The first one I actually found over on GitHub yesterday. So I was over there and I was like, I'm going to go to GitHub and I want to just like find a cool app that I can install. And so I searched for chat application, and because I really like PHP, I like searched down for like PHP, and obviously it gives us a whole bunch of chat things here. And the one that I ended up finding was one called Chat Ajax. And this is like kind of the standard repository that you're going to find, which is like a single person that's been building something kind of cool, and there's like no documentation. I mean, this guy gives a little bit of documentation, so you have a bit of an idea of where to start. And we're actually going to deploy this in like the next couple of seconds. So to do that, if you're interested in seeing how that works, you are going to go up here to clone or download, and I'm literally just going to download this zip. I don't need to worry about this. You don't need to have installed or an account on GitHub. I'm going to go down there, and now it's actually just installed or downloaded this application. And awesome. So now I like this. I've got this Chat Ajax master. So this is all that source code that was in that repository. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract all of that into where that folder was. And so that folder, if you remember, we installed into C and then Laragon. And then the main root folder is this www1. So you're going to double click on that. And now I actually want to create a new folder. And I'm going to call this chat. Awesome. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to select that folder for the extraction. And this is like all default extraction stuff through Windows. Awesome. So now it's going to load that up, and I've got all of this source code in here. And I'm actually going to like, you don't need to do this, but I don't want to have to be typing chat-ajax-master all the time. So I'm just going to move all of those files from where they were into there. And then I'm going to delete this chat Ajax master folder because it's not super important to us for right now. Awesome. So now we've got this. Now, believe it or not, that's it. Like, this is existing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, I called this chat, and you remember it automatically generates those test.test things. So I'm going to go chat.test and see what happens. Okay, so it didn't find an IP address that it could use. So I wonder what's going on there. And if I go http://chat.test, if I go local host -test, -chat, see if it finds it that way. Awesome. So it found it in the local host -chat, but it didn't find it in that app. And if that ever happens, you can just go into here, right click, and you can try and find the www one. So yeah, so it's not loading it with that app. Doesn't really matter for us. You can get to it through that localhost -app. And I'll see if I can do like a really quick figure out what's going on there. But I don't think it really matters a huge amount for us if it actually shows you that app link or not. What's really important for us right now is just that we're able to actually access it, which we are. So this is that app. This is that app that that person had built that we just put into that folder. And now if I go to sign up, it's going to find this. But I wonder what it will actually let me do. So if I try and go in and create a new user. So I'm going to call it user new email test@hightechu.ca, terrible password 1234567 gender, weird question, I'm going to say male, sign up. Awesome. So it added a profile successfully, which is super weird because generally you would need to have a database. Now, it noticed that I had my old database. So what I'm going to do is quickly show you what you would actually need to do. So we're going to go into the Php Myadmin. So we need to go into the database, which is in here. We're going to log in, which is the default route. And I'm actually going to delete this database that I created yesterday. And let me just go up here. So I'm going to go databases, and I'm going to delete that chat one, which should solve the fact that it sort of automatically loaded. Awesome. So that's gone. So now I actually want to go over back into localhost.chat. So this is back. Now when I go and try and go in to sign up, it's going to give me this database error. Because if you notice, when we were in here, it said create app with PHP, create database with name chat, and import chat SQL. And you'll see there's a file there that says chat SQL. So I'm going to go back into my database, into my Php Myadmin. I'm going to create this new chat database. Create. And I don't need to do anything else here. I don't know what tables I need to create, but he did say that I needed to go in and I needed to import chat.sql. So I'm going to go in here, back over to my PHP, and I'm going to go import, choose file, and I'm going to go look in my chat here, and I'm going to grab that chat SQL file, open, and then scroll down to the bottom and click go. Well, you'll notice there's a lot of these positive, these check marks. If you get red, it means something's gone wrong. But now, whereas before, when I tried to go in and do anything with sign up, it gave me that error. Now, it's going back and giving me this. So I can create admin, test@hightechu.ca, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll create my gender, male, sign up. And awesome, it created my profile successfully. So now, if I try and go into here and my email is test@hightechu.ca and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sign in. Awesome, so it's giving me a signed in successfully. And awesome, I'm into this app, which has obviously been generated with a bunch of default profiles, which were in that SQL file. And now I can search for male or female, and I can start group chatting with some of these fake people. I can upload a photo if I wanted to. I can actually send a direct chat to some of these people. Hello. I can add an emoji in there if I want to. And send it. And what's great is I was able to do this using somebody's random repository that I found on GitHub in just a couple of minutes. Now, there's another repository that's listed there, which is the Nahid/Talk. And it's the repository that looks like this. And its Talk is a Laravel 5 based chatting system. So what's cool is this actually gives you way more information on how to install it. And so for you, I give you a challenge in the next week or so after you've seen this video is check this out. Check out this process of deploying and try it with this Nahid/Talk application. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So again, that was an introduction to an awesome tool called Laragon. It is an amazing, productive, fast, effective, honestly, like all of the things that it says here is so true. This has been such an amazing tech bite. I've been excited that you stuck around with us for the last half hour to learn about what Laragon's all about. Definitely install it on your device. If you want to find out more about Laragon, check it out, laragon.org. Those resources are there. If you want to find out more about HighTechU, you can actually I'll just do this. I think it should work. There we go. So you can check it out at hightechu.ca. The link's in the chat. And if you're interested in learning more, we have these tech bites every week, fairly regularly. Just stay tuned to our Twitch channel. This has been Tech Bites, bite-sized tech talk for teens. My name is Andrew. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody.